Hello, hello, hello. My voice is audible, everyone. Please confirm me once. Hello, dear student. My voice is audible or not? Please confirm me once. Voice is audible, everyone. Please confirm. Now it's audible. चलिए start करते हैं. Dear students, so very good morning to all of you. Today we are going to see about 23rd. Today we are going to see about 23rd July, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So before discussing about today newspaper analysis, so let me explain what is the objective of our discussion. So our basic objective is to find where is the news is most suitable in your mains. Like, for example, I'll explain you the forward and backward linkage of the topics and what kind of possible question they can ask in your prelims, in your mains, or in interview, and what kind of data, fact, figure, if they needed. I just want to give you detailed information of that. Please make note of it. And during discussion, I'm also going to give you task 10 to 15 tasks. So you have to complete that 10 to 15 tasks after completion of this reading. And it is my guarantee you'll get 20 to 30 marks extra if you are following this very religiously. But 90% student not able to follow this. So if you are that 10%, so then that means you have the potentials to clear these prelims with 100% surety. And in mains, you'll get 80% extra marks in your 4GS and in essay, because I'm going to explain you where you can use all this information in your mains also. So first important issue is how you can get this PDF. You can simply scan this QR code to download our application. There is a folder. There is a folder called Current Affair and Infographics. So within that, you'll find the premium infographics, so you can get it. So so next is those who are using iPad and iOS device. So you can download Class Plus application and use our code PKRMEJ to get it. Okay. So first one is a top code issue notice to state center on power of president and governor. So recently we know that the president filed a presidential reference under Article 143 of the Constitutions to find whether there is, recently what happened, the Tamil Nadu governor, they keep on pending the bill that is being passed by their state legislature. So due to that, Tamil Nadu government filed a petition in the Supreme Court. And in that case, Supreme Court says that by keeping the bill pending without taking any decision, despite it is being repeatedly passed by the elected government, amount to violation of the Constitution, and deemed that there should be a time limit for the president, for the governor, and if bill is reserved for the president, should act within that time limit. So after that, in our constitution, originally there is no time limit being provided for taking the decision or giving action to any particular bill. So, there is no original constitution does not contain any time limit, but Supreme Court says that they have to act in a time-bound manner. So that created confusion. So to avoid that confusion, President recently filed a presidential reference case before the Supreme Court to to clarify the matter. Okay. So next one is Dhankar exit notified, but key question remain. So no, I don't want to go into this politics of all these things, because so many channels, they are simply flooding with all this politics. These are not important for us at all for our examination. But what is for our examination is method of election of vice president, removal of vice president, okay, role and responsibility of the vice president, role and responsibility of the vice president, and what are the instances where the vice president can be removed. So you have to study that. This is what important for our exam perspective. So Goa government to file contempt plea in Supreme Court against Karnataka over the Mahadevi water diversion. So sometime UPSC ask about this interstate river water dispute. So that is the reason you have to map the river Maha. So you have to map this river and why it is in conflict. So you'll understand from there. So Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant. So inform the assembly that state government will file a contempt petition in Supreme Court against Karnataka for carrying out activities that are aimed at diverting Mahadevi river water. So two adjoining coastal state are embroiled in the dispute over sharing the Mahadev River. So center has set off a tribunal to that decide sharing of the water between the three riparian states. So you can, whenever they ask about Mahadev River Water Tribunal deals with distribution of water among the three which states. So it is Goa, Karnataka, and Maharashtra. Goa and Karnataka along with Maharashtra have been appealed against the tribunal order on sharing of water three state. So they go already interstate river water dispute act, so 1956 provide for establishment of interstate river water dispute tribunal. So that tribunal will adjudicate if any dispute between any state regarding share of the water. So under that, so Mahadev tribunal has been established. So it will provide a award for how the water is going to be shared among the three states, that is Goa, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. But problem is that whenever the award of this interstate river water dispute tribunal is not acceptable to a single state, so they are keeping file appealing in the Supreme Court. But originally, if you read about interstate river water dispute, it is saying that the appeal cannot lie in the award of this interstate river water dispute tribunal is final. There cannot be no appeal in the Supreme Court. But people are reaching to the Supreme Court by using special leave petition under Article 136. So Supreme Court cannot deny that, because, and second thing, the water is a human right issue. So they are also fighting under Article 32 of the Indian Constitution writs because they are violation of their fundamental right. So these are very complex issue. You can understand it. Okay. So you have to study in detail. So next is the Supreme Court to hear tomorrow Maharashtra plea against the acquittal of accused in 2006 train blast case. So Supreme Court on Thursday indicated its intentions to list the Maharashtra government plea challenging the Bombay High Court judgment acquitting all the 12 convicts in 2006 Mumbai train blast case, which killed 187 people and left 800 injured. So Bombay High Court has ruling observed that the prosecution has utterly failed. That means you can imagine. So I'm not saying whether this person are right or wrong. So why we have failed? If such a magnitude of crime is happening, so many people are died, it is failure of our investigation. We are not able to investigate properly. We are not able to provide the evidence properly. So that led to the acquittal. Okay? Not acquittal, it led to the not conviction of those who are culprit. So Bombay High Court ruling observed that the prosecution had utterly failed. Prosecution means government. Okay? To prove its case beyond reasonable doubt, it had cited the 2005 judgment of Maharashtra Control of Organized Crime Act, which has sentenced 5 accused to death and remaining to life imprisonment. So you know that M. Coca. So this is a anti-terror law. It is very draconian law. If anyone is caught within that, anyone is booked or charged under this law, they can be imprisoned for 6 months without any trial. Second thing is, if any person is charged under the M Coca, so whatever confession they have made before the police officer, that can be directly acceptable as a confession before the court also. So that is the reason this is very draconian. Once a person is faced with M Coca, so it's very difficult that persons to prove its innocence. So 7 life imprisonment, creating false appearance of having solved a case by presenting what the accused have been brought to the justice, given the misleading sense of resolution. So the High Court very clearly said that without having proper evidence of involvement of these people, we cannot simply give death penalty. We can give death penalty, there might be miscarriage of justice. That might be some person who are not involved. They might be implicated by the police. So the court is not driven by the emotions. Court is driven by the rationality, fact, figure. So that is what they are saying. Okay. So next one is Manipur family. The Manipur family displaced by unrest get ready to return home under the security coverage. So we know that recently Manipur, there is a severe violence is going on. So after the High Court declared that Meitei community should be given the ST status, and when Meitei, they are plain tribes, if ST status is given Meitei, so they might. So Kuki, they protest that because Kuki are hill tribes. They believe that if Meitei will come to the hill, they will capture our land. So that led to the protest, violence, and displacement of so many peoples. Now government is planning to ensure that resettlement of those who have displaced. Okay. So next important news is, so India points to the Khalistan UK ahead of the PM visit. So recently our Prime Minister is going to visit UK, and there we are planning to sign the free trade agreement. We are also having one more concern in UK. There is a growing trend of Khalistani separatists. They are freely roaming there, and they propagate their agenda of violence and seek separate states. So people in the national capital got unaware of sudden downfall. So you can see because of climate change nowadays what happening, sudden rainfall, sudden, जिसको हम बोलते हैं flash flood. So dear student, please in the comment in the comment box whether I should speak only in English or Hindi and English. So because some student are saying to me, sir, speak both bilingual. So I don't know what to speak, whether English or Odia. So English or Hindi. Please inform me. According to that, I'll discuss all my content. So according to your demand, I'll do all these things. So next important news is Warlang So. Warlang So is also known as Brahmaputra. ब्रह्मपुत्र इन चाइना. सो ब्रह्मपुत्र का अदर नेम क्या है, यालंगसू सांगपो रिवर इन द नमचे बरुआ. सो नमचे बरुआ, दिस इज फ्रॉम हियर रिवर टेक द ब्रह्मपुत्र रिवर टेक्स ए टर्न लाइक दिस. ठीक है, नमचे बरुआ. सो फोटो, सो चाइनीज स्टार्टेड वर्क ऑन Medong hydro power station. So Medong hydro power station which use a 2 kilometer drop within 50 kilometer stretch to generate power. The station designed to require engineering excavation 20 kilometer tunnel through the Namche Borua mountain to divert the river. So that means China is planning huge amount of water diversion project that they are able to transfer from this Brahmaputra river to meet their growing water need. But that if we divert this water, so that might create water crisis in India. So that is what our concern, and we don't have any. This is we have like the हमारे पास क्या है, इंडस वाटर ट्रीटी विद पाकिस्तान. हम पाकिस्तान के साथ इंडस वाटर ट्रीटी है, so there is a negotiation mechanism. But with China we don't have anything. We don't have anything. So in case of China unilaterally act, so we don't, we cannot do anything. So next is universe has no top or bottom. So you have to understand universe is just not like a simple small ball. It is a very vast vast area. So the universe has no top, no bottom, middle or center either. Scientists now today that universe is spreading out all the direction and all at same time. So this means that galaxy that are 50 light year away, 5,000 light year away, 5 million light year away, all are moving away from the Earth. The Earth itself moving away from other object and somewhere else. So Big Bang to be a central events in this space, but this is not true. Our universe is located inside our larger space, at least to an extent that we can study and prove right after the Big Bang, space grew, change. That means space is so vast, there is nothing called starting point, there is nothing called ending point. If the area is so vast, it is very difficult to know which point is center of that. So just read it, you'll understand a lot of things. So Hubble ultra deep field image of the. So here you can see about Hubble Space Telescope. So you have to study about Hubble Space Telescope. Telescope is launched by which country? So you have to remember it is NASA, Hubble Space Telescope. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Next important news is the betel fungi combo threaten the plantation in rubber capital in Kerala. So here 2 to 3 information is very important. So here you can see Kerala is, you can say Kerala is the leading producer of rubber. That means just have a Google which state in India is largest producer of the rubber and which country in the world is the largest producer of the rubber. Okay. So here you can get a very good question. Second one is this article is talking about beetle usually attack the dead and infected tree. The fungi feed on the barks and beetle bore tunnel. That means bore once make a hole, then this fungi eat all their way. So they combo, they live in a symbiotic relationship. I think in environment there is a term called symbiotic relationship, like mutualism. So in two species, this species will give something and this species will give something in return. So best example is coral reef. Coral reef, Jujantle live in symbiotic relationship with coral polyps. So the fungi feed on the barks and beetle bore the tunnel, carrying fungi into the tree and farm the fungi for nutrition. So fungi also release enzyme that weaken the wood, allowing beetle to penetrate deeper. So what happening? Beetle actually they make drill, and in that drill, the fungi can enter, and then fungi release some chemicals that helpful for softening the tree so that beetle can bore deeper. So this combo is causing huge damage to the rubber plantation in Kerala. So if you are talking about I think 2 year back, so there is a question in UPSC mains. What are the challenges that is facing in our rubber plantation industry? So you can talk about this now. each and every day you'll get one or two information from your current affair newspaper. If you collect for 360 days, so you'll get a lot of information. You'll have bombarded with information and fodder. So you can write very good answer. So betel fungi association cause leaf fall, trunk dying, and tree death. So infection also affect the latex production. So antifungal agent are popular way of combating the problem apart from removing infected part, burning or chipping or trapping the betel knot. So some of the method that is being used to control this fungal and beetle infection. So controlling fungal infection in plant is difficult. Fungi reside deeper part of the where insecticide does not reach. So that means even if you are using insecticide, it is only restricted to the surface of the tree, but fungus live deep inside. Once infection has been progressed systematically, it is too late to save the plant from it. So because of that, so many people they are demanding that we need to introduce GM crop. So here you can see, the rubber farmer have called the use of genetically modified rubber plant to combat this crisis. So this is what you can also study. So next important news is USA pulled out of UNESCO again, again 2 years after joining. So previous term of the Donald Trump, so they have pulled away from the UNESCO World Heritage Site by claiming that it is acting against the interest of Israel. So again, the Joe Biden joined the UNESCO. Again, USA under the leadership of Donald Trump. Again, it is pulled away from the UNESCO. So they can ask about which country recently withdraw from the UNESCO. United States announced Thursday it will again pull out of the UN Educational, Scientific, Cultural Agency because it is believed that involvement not in the country national interest and that agency promote anti-Israel speech. The decision come only 2 years after United States rejoined after leaving 2008 during the presidential Donald Trump term. So withdrawal has linked to the UNESCO perceived agenda to advance decisive social and cultural cause. So UNESCO decisions to admit state of Palestine as a member state is highly problematic to the USA policy because USA support the Israel. Israel is the very good friend or allies of USA. So when UNESCO decide to add Palestine as a member, so on that protest they have decided to withdraw. Okay, so this will be the third time USA states left the UNESCO. This is not the first time. You can understand why under the Donald Trump they are against the global order. They are trying to impose their unilateral action throughout the world. So it is headquarters is located in Paris. The second time during the Trump administration, it is rejoined again in 2013 under the Joe Biden. So UNESCO. So what are the implication or what are the impact of withdrawal of the USA? USA withdrawal like you because UNESCO is getting significant amount of fund from the USA. If USA is withdrawing from UNESCO, so they might face fund problem. So next important news is Iran foreign minister said that Tehran will not abandon nuclear enrichment. So we know that there is a JCPOA, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action being signed between P5 plus German versus Iran. So this objective is to limit the total enriched uranium to 300 kg and uranium level should be 2.67. I think 3 at 2.67 percentage. But Iran crossed this limit to create more enriched uranium. And this percent is more than I think 40%. So because of that, all Western countries they believe that it is violation of JCPOA and Iran is moving towards development of nuclear weapons. So because of that, Israel and USA recently attacked the Iran and destroyed their nuclear capability. So after that, their foreign ministry they are saying that yes, will not abandon despite our negotiation. So sports governance bills to table in the parliament today. So government is planning to introduce a sports bill. So that is what going to streamline our entire sport by giving more clarity. It is try to establish a tribunal also. So in an attempt to empower Indian sports and to drive towards sparkling presence in the global arena, even government has carefully drafted sports governance bill, linguishing its previous status as a controller and accepting role as a facilitator. So earlier, government used to control everything, but now government is emerging as a facilitator. That means we are providing light regulation. Dekho, best development of any sector happen whenever we are acting as a facilitator. Government of role is not involved in the sporting. Rather, government should act as a facilitator by providing regulation, providing infrastructure so that sports can be flourished. So bill is scheduled to table in the parliament. Will try to give lighten the load on the beloved judiciary by having a tribunal. So this planning to establish a tribunal so that is going to reduce the burden on the judiciary. Already we are high, our high court, lower court, they are burdened with high level of cases. So to ensure faster justice to our sports person, we are going to establish a tribunal. So that is giving speedy redressal of their dispute. So legal tussle, many legal tussle are happening. So that is going to solve in this tribunal. Though the bill will be athletic centric, ensuring the presence of athletes in administration. So bill try to propose that the managing, the governing member or should be athletes. That means sports. So they understand better the sports. That will lead to the development of professionalism in the sports. National sports federations to align with the international federation. We also need all our national sports federation. They need to in aligned with the international Olympic Federation and other international standards, so that our sports person they are in comply with the global norms. So fair election overall, the autonomy of the national sports federation will be fully respected while ensuring execution of fair in election, fair selection. So we need to ensure that all selection process should be fair. So government which is consulted all stakeholder and arrived at a system to read of Indian sports many problem and help grow stronger in the international arena. Because in India we need to promote sport a lot, because we're a country with 20% of the world population. So we need to aspire for 20% of the global medal also. Na? Every sports will come under the sports governance bill without exceptions, even though government is focusing on Olympic medal apart from hosting Olympic itself. So all the sports, that is what currently we are playing, it will come under the sports bill. Okay. So next important news is, so extreme weather may harm Indian city, cause billions of dollar losses. So recently we are seeing because of this extreme weather, so it can be flash flood, like that means flood is happening very short span of time. It can be flash drought also. That means drought, very dryness in a very short span of time. So ultimately it is affecting so many people, because people are dying in this stroke, reducing our productivity, spread the disease. So that is what it is talking about. Indian cities hold tremendous potential as a center of economic growth. Yes, 70% of new jobs coming them by 2030. So we can say urban city, if you look into urban India, one third of our population live in urban area, but they are generating around 70% of Indian GDP. And second, they are going to contribute 70% of growth. So that means they are engine of our growth. However, the extreme weather events can lead to the billions of dollars in future losses. Timely action is needed to deal with it, according to New World Bank. Because if this type of climate change will persist, it is very dangerous precedent for our environment. So that Indian urban population is expected to almost double. So by 2050, we are expecting 951 million people will reside in the urban area. And more than 144 million new homes will be added by 2070. So our future is, you can say, rapid urbanization we can see. At the same time, the intense heat wave and urban heat island effect already causing the temperature of urban area is very high. So let's say this is a region. So this is a region. This is a region. This is a region. So this is let's say rural area. This is urban area. So if you look into temperature, this area temperature is normal, but in urban area temperature will be very high, just like the island. So this higher temperature is called urban heat island. Okay. So rapid growth of the built-up area also reduce city capacity to absorb the storm water. So we are building too much of you can say housing, other infrastructure in the lakes, river, water bodies. So because of that, when heavy rainfall happens, so all these low-lying area they became flooding. So that is what we are seeing, the concept of urban flooding. So storm water making them vulnerable to the flood. So which over 50% of the urban infrastructure required for 50 still to be built, India as a critical opportunity to drive resilience urban infrastructure. देखो, we are in the process of transition from rural to urban. So, and we know that we are going to face what kind of problem. Then in our transformation, we need to ensure sustainability of all our infrastructure and resilience of our infrastructure. So that means it is a good opportunity for us, because we know that we are going to face what kind of problem in future. If we can design properly, so we can get a lot of benefits. So here, this point you can write, disaster management. So you can talk about while our urban area we need to redesign. So while designing, we need to incorporate all these things. Na? So the imperative for India to build a resilient city at a scale is clear by investing more greener, resilient urban development, including housing, transport, municipal service, and cities can be better mitigate the extreme heat condition, and urban flooding continue to create jobs also. So next is the Indian cities support vulnerable population, like implementing program to address extreme urban heat island flooding, including better regulation for storm water, green space, installation of cooling roof, effective early warning system. So these are steps that we can take to control you can say extreme weather in urban area. So recently India and USA, अब अभी क्या हो रहा है, इंडिया एंड यूएसए हम दोनों के बीच में भी ट्रेड डील का नेगोशिएशन चल रहा है, बट वी आर नॉट एबल टू साइन बिकॉज देयर आर टू स्टिकिंग इशू. One is about the agriculture. USA want Indian agriculture market should be open, but in India we know that majority, 86% of our farmer are marginal farmer. So if we open our agricultural sector to the USA farmer, they're big farmers, so they can dump their excess product in Indian market. So these farmer will collapse and they will not get any profit, or agriculture became very disaster. Because if you produce, let's say rice, our farmer produce around 30 rupees. But USA farmer being the rich farmer, they're getting huge subsidies, so they can produce in 20 rupees. So they can sell in India. So our farmer became suffer because of that. And second one is about the automobile. So the officials anticipated surprise from the President Donald Trump in negotiation with agriculture and automotive components. So with August 1 as a deadline approaching, agriculture continue to loom large as an impediment to the trade deal between India and USA. India continue to hold firm against this opening of the sector into import of protect farmer. The USA remain keen for the sector to be opened off as deals set precedent for future strike with European Union and Japan. देखो, India don't want to open that because it is very sensitive and more farmer are small. It is very politically sensitive also. No government dare to change anything that might create a lot of trouble also. ठीक है. So next important news is, then next important part is agriculture remain a major issue where lack of agreements. So just read it. I think that is what not much is given. So I have given you context. So dear student, if you want to have interaction with me, you can simply download our application, download our Telegram, where I'm conducting one-on meeting on the Sunday, so you can interact with me. So history of aircraft probe shows that investigator disagree with pilot complicity. So this article is talking about whenever there is any accident happen, some cases they have found that the mental health condition of the pilot is not good. Some are, but some majority of case they are not agreeing with that. Not much for important, because it is not concern of our examination. So next is, in over 90% of the sewer death, worker had no safety gear. So this is very sad incident. So those who are 90% died after entering into the sewer tank. So in that sewer tank, so they get some poisonous gas and killed because of asphyxiation. So there, because of asphyxiation, it is a condition of lack of able to take the breathing. So 90% of the worker who died cleaning sewer did not have any safety gear or personalized protective equipment. So you can write here what are the challenges faced by the marginalized community. So here, Safai Karmachari, they are facing that kind of problem. So next important here is given that data shows that 150 people across country died due to hazardous cleaning. So these are the officials data. So majority of data we don't have a record. So that means unofficial figure can be quite higher. So next you can see here, government is implementing the scheme is called Namaste. Government is implementing the scheme. In its response to the ministry added that they launched Namaste scheme for addressing problem of hazardous cleaning of sewage and septic tank worker and waste picker, in line with the government declaration manuals. Recently we have declared that India is free from manual scavenging, but problem of cleaning the hazardous septic tank is yet present. So the Namaste scheme identify 84,000 sewer and septic tanks worker in 36 states, and which will provide the safety and PPE kit. So that is what going to Namaste scheme basically aim to promote mechanization of our sewage cleaning, so that we can reduce the death of our people. So it is try to promote the safety gears. So next is weight gain begin 8 weeks after this stopping anti-obesity drug. So if you are taking some weight loss drug, after you have stopped consuming the weight loss drug, again you have started gaining your weight. So that is what this article is stopping. So surprise at the space with which our body adopts. So this is what called by Subhanshu Shukla. So Indian astronauts group captain Subhanshu Shukla, who undergo rehabilitation program at USA, surprised to observe pace at which our body can adjust. Like whenever you are in Earth, you are under the gravity condition. Where you in outer space, microgravity condition, and come back. That means in a short span of time, you are experiencing gravity, zero gravity, and again gravity. So that means our body need to adjust. So whenever you are experiencing microgravity, our body goes through several changes like fluid shift, heart rate, balance. Because in space, you don't need much blood because you are floating, so you are not having much activity. So because of that, your heartbeat became very slow. So next is balance readjustment muscle loss. So these are the adaptations to the new environment. Once our body used to this, we return to the gravity. These adjustment happen once again. So next, so this is quite Dhankar defend the farmer and was vocal about reform in the judiciary. So just read it out. Nothing much important, but it is a little political, much of political. So I don't think. So next is in collecting signature for removal of the judges, Congress stated Congress started off early to deny government sole creditor. So, to remove the Yashwant Verma from the office of the High Court judges. So, this is a very political news. I don't think you need it. So, after end of this discussion, already I have prepared a very good video on what are the procedure for removal, context, everything. So, I think it will be uploaded in our group. So, please stay tuned. You'll get it. So, already I have explained detailed process for impeachment of the judge of Supreme Court and High Court, and all the detailed context that is important for your exam, I have already given it. So poll panel has to afford election of vice president immediately. So here this article is very good. So recently we have seen that our vice president resigned. So you know that vice president, who is the Rajya Sabha chairman, hold the office for 5-year terms. However, notwithstanding expiration of a term, he will continue to remain office until his successor takes charge. Though office of term is 5 year, if there is no successor, so in that case, vice president can continue to hold this post for more than 5 year also. Okay. So next important news is in case of death, removal, resignation, vice president, the constitution does not, in case of death, removal, resignation, or constitution does not provide any method of succession apart from the election. So in case of death, resignation, so that would be election to fill this vacancy. So thus, in case of resignation, election commission has to call for election immediately as position cannot left vacant. So that means election commission, it is the election commission who is conducting elections to the state legislative assembly, parliament, and president and vice president. So tell me in the comment box who is conducting elections to the state legislative council. So let me see how many of you know that which institution conduct elections to the state legislative council. So let me see. So vice president is elected by an electoral college that comprising member of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, both elected and nominated. So here both member are there. So member of the elected electoral college can vote according to their choice and are not bound by the party whip. So that means here party whip is not applicable. Even if you are a particular party, you can violate your party line and elect any other political party. According to the president and vice president election rule, nomination paper has to be subscribed by 20 elector and 20 as a proposer, 20 elector as a seconder. So that means you need support of 20 elector as a proposer. That means your name should be proposed them, and 20 elector is also second that name. So the security deposit you have to provide of 50,000 rupees. So returning officer, so secretary, so returning officer means who is responsible for conduct of this election. Like administrative role is about a Lok Sabha secretary or Rajya Sabha secretary on rotation. Okay. So 1 year, let's say one particular time it is the Lok Sabha secretary. Next time it is the Rajya Sabha secretary. So member of electoral college can vote according to their choice, not bound by any party whip. So you have to remember that in case of Rajya Sabha election, there is no party whip. Party cannot issue any direction that you have to vote X party, Y candidate. So under Article 66 of Indian Constitution, Vice President held in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote at such election likely to be secret ballot. So that means Article 66 talking about the elections to the Vice President should be on the basis of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote and secret ballot. So that means whatever vote you are giving, no one should know about that. Okay. Unlike the presidential election, where value of vote cast by the member of parliament and various state legislature assembly different, every vote cast in vice president election has same. So here both the elected as well as nominated member, they can participate in the election of vice president. I'm going to prepare a very good video in detail about vice president. So after this discussion, so please stay tuned. So winning candidate has to secure a quota of votes to be declared valid, 50% of the valid vote plus one. Let's say there are 750 valid votes. So to win that, you need 375 plus 1, 376 votes. So next one is ahead of the PM visit, India highlights the presence of Khalistani in UK. So Prime Minister is going to visit UK. There will sign the free trade agreement. We know that UK is a developed country. We are having trade surplus. If we are having a good free trade agreement, it is win-win for both. So it is going to promote our about manufacturing sector, our cottage industry, our MSME, our service sector. So and at the same time, there is a concern that Khalistani element are also present there. So no issue found on the fuel switch of the Boeing the aircraft said by the Air India. So dear student, we are providing Odisha specific infographics and Odisha specific current affair free of cost. You can simply scan this QR code to get it. And we are also providing the essay writing. Okay. So here you will get it very low price and it is evaluated by highly experienced and UPSC selected interview given candidate. So you can get it by scanning this QR code. You can download and join our courses. So after glorious career, so MiG-21 fighter jet to be retired in September. So you can see about our Indian Air Force procure around 700 aircraft. So they have service in India. So they have play very important role. But unfortunately, because of the delay, MiG-21. So there are 170 pilot lost their life. So this is the reason it is called flying coffin. So currently we are operating only 2 squadron and it is being going to replace by our Tejas Mark 1A. So it is being replaced by Tejas Mark 1. So this is an intercept aircraft. So basically the role of interceptor aircraft is to protect our territory from any enemy attack. So their main aim is to petrol within the India. So their main aim is petrol within India. So if any aircraft come outside, will immediately take down. So even Operation Balakot. So all our operation is carried out. This is helping a lot. So next is the Apache helicopter. So they can ask about the Apache helicopter recently seen in news. This India is buying this India bought this you can say helicopter from which country? So Army get first batch of advanced Apache helicopter. You can see the image of it from USA. So it will give significant boost to our army because in our army we are lacking the firepower, particularly in the attack helicopter, because it is going to operate in the Rajasthan Jodhpur region where the attack helicopter role is very important in case of any conflict with the Pakistan. So how different constitutional draft imagine India. So here you can see about this is what talking about M.N. Roy, the pioneer in the ideology of providing a constitution towards the India, and other idea about the RSS or RSS backed one, that is the you can say Hindu Mahasabha backed one. So this article is talking about another is about the Gandhian idea. So this article is talking about how different idea is propagated by different organization. At the end we are that is what helpful for designing our constitution. So it is our homework, just study it. So between 1895 and 1948 various constitutional drafts were proposed, reflecting contrasting idea from early liberalism to Gandhian decentralism to radical socialism. So here it is a very good article I've already highlighted, but it is for your study, nothing to explain. So next is redeeming India's nuclear power promises. So which is very important for us. Which is very important. So so if India need to meet ambitious targets of 100 gigawatt power from nuclear energy by 2047, its foreign partner as well as private partner need to act very fast. So if we need to achieve our 100 gigawatt targets by 2047, Government of India set a targets of 100 gigawatt by 2047. We need private sector participation and foreign partner. So you can see here the union budget, they have set ambitious targets of 100 gigawatt in 2047. So this is and our aim is to achieve the carbon neutral by 2070. So why in this case, why nuclear energy is very important? Because you have to achieve carbon neutral by 2070. And we have need to phase out the coal power plant. But where will get this energy? And our economy is growing very rapidly. Next 10 year, 20 year in 20, you can see here it is also given. The nuclear energy mission announced special allocation of 20,000 crore to develop at least 5 indigenously designed operational small modular reactor. Small modular reactor means they are small in size. They can easily assemble low cost, okay, by 2033. So such ambitious plan will need involvement of private player, both domestic foreign, into hitherto government sector, which is required significant change in the legislative and financial regulatory framework. Currently, all our nuclear are operated by the government agency. if we want to achieve this success, so we need to open up this sector for foreign and private sector. So Atomic Energy Act 1962 and Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Acts, that is called CLNDA, they are actually the law that regulates. So we need to change that as well. So this article is talking on a lot of things. I think this is the most important article. So India's nuclear journey. India has started early. So set off Asia's first nuclear research reactor. So first Asian reactor is Apsara, and Asia's first nuclear power reactor at Tarapur in 1963. So Homi Jahangir Baba architecture of India nuclear program presented a target of having 8 gigawatt of power by 1980. But you know that in that time we have started our nuclear test. So because of that, we all country imposed sanction and non-proliferation treaty is being implemented. So that is the reason we have not able to access to the uranium technology. So that the reason we are not able to achieve this target. So government have changed the target, 100 gigawatt by 2020. So moreover, India took time to successfully indigenize the designing of 220 megawatt pressurized heavy water reactor. So most of our reactor are pressurized heavy water reactor. They use natural uranium. Natural uranium means whatever found in the nature. So no need for any complex enrichment process. So they are employed in Rajasthan. Advantage what that is use natural uranium. So in natural uranium, we'll have two components. Only 0.7% of uranium 235 and the rest 99.3 uranium 238. This is not a fissile material. It's a futile material. This is a fissile material that sustain the uranium 235 is a fissile material that sustain the chain reaction. So that use natural uranium as a fuel, unlike the design of the Tarapur light water reactor, which use low enriched uranium. So if you need to enrichment, so you need complex plant. Okay, so you can say about the Tarapur, we have obtained from the USS. Subsequently, 220 megawatt of power unit, Narora, Kaiga, Kakrapara, designed to upgrade to 540 megawatt, so 700 megawatt. So after nuclear test 1998, followed by the intense negotiation, so we have received a waiver from the USA. So now get a special waiver from the nuclear supply group. So now we can do trade in our uranium and we can do trade in the civil, nuclear supply, other technological aspect also. But we need to put all our nuclear plant under the IAEA safeguard. IAEA safeguard. So we have to separate our nuclear program into two, civilian and military. So we have to put all our civilian program under IAEA safeguard. So this is what the objective. So next one is okay, so India thus ready to resume exchange of both nuclear power to import both nuclear fuel and more advanced reactors. So however, CLNDA created new difficulties, have prevented such. So the CLNDA we have enacted to prevent, in case of any damage. So it is the responsibility of those who have involved. So they have to pay the compensation. But according to this Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act, it held the responsible for the supply. Let's say X supply a component, let's say this bolt. So in case of any accident, so we can demand compensation from this company. And in case of nuclear accident, the compensation is not that small amount. I'm just giving an example. So to clean off Fukushima plant, so we need $1 trillion of rupees. So just imagine how much cost involved. That is beyond capability of any private company. Okay, so that is the reason most of the US company, they are fearful of civil liability of Nuclear Damage Act. But we have implemented the Kundalkulam nuclear power plant because it is government to government deal, and this deal is signed before enactment of this law. So that is the reason. So towards green development. So then if we have so many problems, then what is the essence of moving towards nuclear power? Just imagine, our per capita is around $2,800. So we have to move towards 22,000. That means almost 10 times. So we have to increase 10 times. So if you have to increase your per capita income 10 times, so our GDP need to increase 4 trillion to 35 trillion. So in that case, our electricity consumption is going to increase 3 times, 4 times. And current capacity of India is 480 gigawatts. If you increase 4 to 5, so that you can imagine. So it's around 2,500 gigawatts. So where will get this amount of power? We cannot go for like solar, so you can say the coal energy, because these are polluting, and we cannot completely rely on the solar, wind, because they are very intermittent in nature. So in case of no sunlight, no wind, so we cannot rely on them. So we need some base load. We need some power that can provide constant power. So nuclear power is that. And nuclear power, though the fuel are quite radioactive, but it is not generating problem like in case of coal power plant, it is generating significant greenhouse gases that is very harmful, but here nothing like that. So that is the reason the thermal power plant, if we can ensure safety of its operation, this is the best nuclear power plant. Okay, so that is why out of the 2030 terawatt hour total electricity generated by 2024, renewable energy half generated capacity account. Okay, so so that means climate change commitment we are also having. So we need to achieve the green carbon neutral by 2070, and 50% of our power should be renewable energy. So how we can achieve? There is only alternative, that is lies go through the nuclear power plant. So there is a review interest in globally in nuclear power, reflect in Dubai 2023 declaration of to triple nuclear energy, and acknowledge nuclear power is critical input for reducing fossil reliance on the fossil fuels. Okay, so if you look into the operational aspect, so it is the national NPCIL, National Power Nuclear Power Corporation of India, which is operating. So I think just read it out. I've already explained you about the context details. So these are given minor details. So this is helpful for your examination. Don't miss anything. So dear student, those who are practicing, try to give exam in the 2026. So please start writing answer. You can also join our program to practice the answer writing. It is very nominal fee. You'll get very good quality of evaluation. So university everywhere are in the crisis. Yes, indeed. So recently we have seen in USA, they are imposing severe restriction on university because they are not listening to the administration. So reform or regression. So the NIDU will have to balance the industrial development with labor rights. So recently what happened in Andhra Pradesh, they are imposing something extra. They have modified the labor law. So there is a criticism that might violate the right of the labor. So Andhra Pradesh government decisions to amend the labor law running into rough weather. The labor factory, boiler and insurance medical service department propose amendment to create certain provision of Factory Act and Andhra Pradesh Shop and Establishment Act. The amendment approved by the cabinet. So increase the maximum number of working hour from 9 to 10. So maximum working hour in a day is increased, and mandatory rest after 5 to 6 hours, and overtime cap of 75 hour to 144 per quarter. Government said that amendment is part of the promoting ease of doing business to attract investment. Okay? So they need this. But those who are the labor union and civil side have been amendment is irresponsible and deliberate assault on the labor right and dignity. Demand that we withdraw immediately. So government said that it will help in promotion of ease of doing business, and those who are labor unions and the labor right activists, they are saying it is going to violate the right of the individuals. So next, recently we have resigned. So this is a political debate, so we no need to go in detail. Just have an idea, that is more than enough. So this article is, can China and India conflict over the Buddhism? So recently there is a controversy erupt after Chinese embassy. They even after our Ministry of Minority Affairs, they said that the future of the the reincarnation or future Dalai Lama is decided by the institution that is being established by Dalai Lama itself. But Chinese government, they believe that China have a say, decide which is going to be the next Dalai Lama. So why India and China have a interest in ensuring that Dalai Lama belongs to their region? So because this Himalayan region is bound by the Buddhism. So if Dalai Lama belongs to India, so the Buddhist community are more lean towards India. If Buddhist Dalai Lama coming to China, so they are more lean towards China. So that is the reason both India and China, they are in rush to ensure the Dalai Lama appointed. They are in favor of India. But this is a good opportunity. India being the birthplace of the Buddha, we need to promote Buddhism being a soft power that helpful in promoting our soft culture. Okay. So reality behind the global experiment of remote work. So recently, after COVID-19, we have seen the shift of culture called global work from home. But there are so many countries that is promoting work from home. There are so many countries that are also away from the work from home. They believe that work from home is not promoting the productivity. Okay, so this article is talking about that, and this article is talking about the we should consider the work from home negative repercussion, because in our home working environment is not suitable for long duration of work, so we have to sit in a different posture, so that lead to the obesity, mental depression, and all this health issue that is being created. So this article is talking about it. So already there is a question that is being asked in society: what are the implication of remote working? So already it is asking in 2022. So you can study it and understand a lot of from here. And one more thing, to overcome this problem of remote working and working from office, so we can have hybrid mode, like some days they can work from home, some day they can come to the office. Okay, so dear student, this is all about 23rd July, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and please comment in the comment box what kind of video you want in future. Accordingly, we'll make your comment and like, subscription. That is really motivate me to provide this kind of content. Chaliye, bye bye. Take care. Have a good day.